So, being natty sucks. I just watched Bromley's video about natty limits. Very well put together video. A lot more put together than this video is going to be. But it does bring up the common trope of, these are the only people that we knew for sure was natty. And, it's before drugs existed and, showing their physiques and their lifts and whatnot. And to be honest, a lot of natural lifters today mock those guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some good looking physiques, but men were short back then, and a lot of these physiques, they're like $150, $160. No offense if that's you, but these are smaller guys, and small short guys look really good in pictures, and more power to them. And it is what it is. They're small, and that's okay. So I kind of, keep that in mind. And then there's not a lot of like actual recorded lifts from that time. There's speculation and whatnot. And Bromley talked about that in his video. But these are the only people we know beyond a shadow of a doubt that are natural. But that said, you can't really compare numbers back then to now. Again, a lot of stuff wasn't actually recorded. There's some inflated things, and then some things you just look at and you're like, that's kind of meh. But, training, popularity of the sports, popularity of just gym culture in general is so much higher now that the genetic potential within going to the gym and lifting weights is much, much higher. You're drawing from a much bigger pool nowadays. And so I don't think it's, wrong to say that the elite naturals of today absolutely would destroy the elite naturals of back then. And it's not because, nobody's really natty, or, they're drug tested doesn't mean drug free or anything like that. It's just that, I think the bigger gene pool and the popularity of it is the biggest part. And then, our methods are better, our equipment's better, what we know about nutrition and sleep and rest and recovery, also better. So just a whole smorgasbord of things as to why, naturals nowadays would be better than naturals back then. And you see that evolution in all sports, and humanity as a whole for the most part is just, performances getting better. The mean, the average, maybe it's stagnant or not as good, but like the elites are more elite. And then maybe the lessers are more lesser. But that said, the problem with being natty and why it sucks is because nobody thinks you're natty when you're good. When you're an elite natural, it's, you're going to commonly get steroid accusations. And, everybody's on drugs, bro. And, these are common tropes that we get. And unfortunately, you will never be able to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt your nattiness. You can only be proven a liar, a cheater, or on drugs, or admit, being that you're on drugs. You can pass drug tests all the time. You can pass, 100, 200 drug tests, randoms, etc. And somebody's always going to say, oh, well, a drug test is just an IQ test. And it's unfortunate because there are legit elite naturals out there. You kind of got to take people's word for it when they say they're natural. Unfortunately, people do get caught cheating. There are liars, and there are scammers, and there are fakers. And that feeds into the trope of everybody's on steroids, because you can only be proven that direction. You can't be proven right. You can only be proven a liar or a cheater, and that will forever, tarnish the fact, because there are elite naturals out there that they exist, and in some cases the performances of naturals can be greater than that of those on drugs, because there is that genetic component. And if you're Barry Sanders of the NFL of football, and you're born Barry Sanders, you're going to go farther in football than if you were born me, and I take all the steroids, have all the best of everything. I'm still not Barry Sanders in football. And you can apply that to lifting. that genetic component is certainly there. It's not something you should worry about, in my opinion. You've got the cards you dealt. You got to do what you got to do, and a lot of you're not going to know until you know, and that's going to take a lot more time than you think. But regardless, I'm getting off the point there. The elite naturals are out there. Don't have that doomer attitude. You're going to be proven right. It's just like people with conspiracy theories, and some conspiracy theories come true, of course. But the ones that don't come true, you can never really prove them wrong. So people would just say, oh, see, every conspiracy theory is right. That's why I believe them all, because they're all happening. And it's like, no, you believe in every single conspiracy theory, and then a handful of them happen, and you're like, see, I told you I was right. They're all you should believe all the conspiracy theories, when that's not reality. That's just your confirmation bias, happening in real time, because you can only be proven right in those scenarios. So I just hope that I can get out the message to keep an open mind when it comes to these things. And unfortunately, there always are going to be people towing that line of being a fake natty, and for whatever reasons, be it financial or anything else. There are people that will be fake natties for reasons other than money, and they exist, and it sucks, and they're always going to exist, and it's always going to put a shadow over the people who are actually natural, but they're out there. Peace!